Jerome Powell says he can't shield economy. The Fed can't do anything about a debt default. So, real quick, this is comedy. The Fed is the reason we're getting into debt defaults because they keep monetizing our debt. It means they keep buying all of our debt. They keep buying the bonds, which is debt. So what are we talking about here? They are the reason. We started doing this debt ceiling thing, I think it was 70, 80 years ago. And it just keeps getting raised, keeps getting raised. I mean, why even have it at this point? It's just a charade. And that's where people think, like, the Republicans think, like, oh, we're going to keep cut spending and, like, we're going to keep this debt ceiling, we're going to keep it under. You can't. We're an inflationary debt-based dollar society. The dollar is debt, meaning there's interest owed. And every single dollar in existence, there's interest owed. That dollar, the principal, is owed back to the central bank plus interest. So if you can see something wrong with that, there is. Because if there's only interest left and there's no dollars left, that means the system implodes on itself. Mike Maloney 10 years ago would do the whole thing mapped out. I used to do whiteboards on this about the entire system and how currency comes into existence. And we are in a debt-based monetary system. There's nothing backing it. There's no money backing the currency. There's no gold, silver. There's no Bitcoin backing it. So there's nothing. You can't do anything about it. You can't do anything other than just shield yourself and become your own central bank. Become your own sovereign individual by holding Bitcoin, holding some gold and silver, preparing, getting prepared, water, food, energy security, building community. That's the only way you're going to get through this. This is not like, this is hope. This is like, we have the path. We know what to do. This is not a bad thing. A lot of people are going to go through bad stuff, but it doesn't have to be us. It's not going to be us because with great crisis comes great opportunity. Again, we've had many defaults. 1933, defaulted. We defaulted on our debt there, right? We went and devalued the dollar. Lebanon just did 90% devaluation, just overnight, changed the exchange rate. We did it. Franklin Delano Roosevelt screwed everyone over. Said, give me your gold, confiscated Americans' gold, their property, confiscated it, and then people that gave it to him, he said, thanks. Now we revalued it from $20 to $35. Just stole half their wealth, basically. And anyone who held gold still, well, guess what? They became twice as wealthy, basically, because they just went from $20 to $35. So you have to do what's right for you at the end of the day. That's all this is. You have to get prepared. You have to be. In 1964, started taking the silver and stuff out of the dimes, started taking stuff out of our coins, the metals out of our coin. That, again, is a default. 1971, taking the gold out of the dollar. Nixon, again, that is a default. We defaulted on our promises. Again, 2022, taking Russia, and there's been many more examples of the death of the dollar, things going on, weaponizing the dollar, but some of the big ones, as Zoltan Pozsar says, Bretton Woods 3. So we had Bretton Woods 1, was 33, 34, and then 71, and then 22, February 2022, freezing Russia's assets and freezing them out of SWIFT, freezing $600 billion in reserves, freezing them out of the dollar. What do you think everyone in the world said? Why am I holding this dollar? If they can just freeze me on the system and freeze my assets, freeze the dollar, what the heck am I doing in this? This is why we've seen so much BRICS talk. This is why we've seen people talking about using Bitcoin or gold and all these other things as their monetary standard and trading in that. Because they're like, man, if I'm locked out of the system, a nuclear superpower, then surely anyone can get locked out of the system. Any little peon, any individual, of course you can. Of course you can. You're going to get bailed in. FDIC videos we showed. Of course you can. Canadian truckers got frozen out of their accounts. Of course you can. Everyone is susceptible and will probably eventually at some point be locked out of the system in some way, shape, or form, whether it's you directly or like indirectly, bail-ins, just bank holidays and banks shutting down, ATM withdrawal limits, things like that. This is what's coming. This history shows us this. I mean, how many more bullet points do you need? How many more times do you need to see all these things happen to be like, oh, you know what? I finally got it. For some reason, humans can watch someone cross the road, get smoked by a car and be like, not going to do that. I'll never do that again. But a lot of us don't even need to see that, right? A lot of us don't even need to know, when I go across the road, I need to look both ways or else I might get killed. But for some reason, when it comes to like the economy or politics and like leadership, we just don't learn lessons of the past. We can't see it. And we just like walk right into the wood chipper every single time. It's just like, oh, you know what? I'm going to keep learning a lesson myself instead of learning from other people, learning from the past. I guess part of it is because we don't learn the past. We don't even say the Pledge of Allegiance anymore, right? We don't even know our history. We don't know our past. We don't actually know how we were founded and what made us great. We don't even know. We have no idea. So I guess we're going to get what we deserve. So we've had all these defaults. Jerome, we've had all these defaults. And guess what? They're caused by you printing currency in cahoots with the government, but printing currency and into thin air, and then stealing the wealth, time, and energy from all the citizens, the taxpayers, who then have to pay you back. You guys are the ones benefit. The Fed's the one; they're the private owners of the Fed. None of us own the Fed. Any of us own the Fed? We don't get it, right? We show the debt here all the time. On you know what? We'll show it here again. Why not? We show the debt here all the time. This is the debt going on, right? This is the thing that's just racking up all the Fed, monetizing debt, and government handing them bonds, so they have the bonds, the Fed does, and we get the currency, and then we got to pay that back somehow. That's our national debt, right there, and we got to pay back with this interest, $527 billion, right? That's our. So Powell's a joke. They're all a joke. All the politicians, all the unproductive class, Janet Yellen, Powell, they have no idea what's going on. They've never predicted one thing right. Never seen them. Has anyone seen them predict one thing right? Oh, it's transitory inflation. I mean, going back, I'm talking decades too, but just in the last year or two, can't predict anything right. They have no idea what they're doing. And yet people put their livelihoods, they put their entire life, the one chance at life they have, they put everything into their hands and say, you know what, here's my pension, here's my 401k, here's my life. You know what, I believe this guy. He has my best interest at heart. Clown world, get prepared. You're the only person that cares more about you than you. There's no one else. Not Jerome Powell, not Joe Biden, not Donald Trump, no one. Let's get prepared. Please share this with someone you think might get something out of this. These historical lessons, we need to take these and heed these and learn from history. I appreciate your time and energy. It's the most important asset we have. This is not financial advice. This is freedom advice. I trade my time for Bitcoin, for the only other finite asset. I'm not going to trade my finite time for an infinite asset or a partially infinite asset, gold, silver, or you know, blades of grass or grains of sand or dollars. Those are infinite. I can go get those anywhere. Please share this. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Please share this everywhere so more and more people can see this, so we can change this culture war back to truth and reality. Look forward to seeing you on the next one.